Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning. And we've got another new load out here this evening to test, and it's one that one of you guys sent in. So Jack, big thank you to you. He sent us a few different shells to test, and they are some pretty interesting ones. And today we've got a shell that I have never actually shot, so I'm definitely excited to see what it can do. And I've seen a lot of varying opinions about it as well. Some people like it and have gotten good performance, others have gotten absolutely terrible performance out of it. So I don't know. I guess it could go either way, but we're going to test it and see what happens one way or the other. So as for the shell we've got out here today, Jack sent us in some Kent TK7 Penetrator turkey shells. These are a 12 gauge, 3-inch, 1 5/8 ounce of number 7 TSS shot, moving about 1100 feet per second. And from the couple different Kent shells I've shot over the years, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes they do okay, sometimes they don't. And that's kind of, again, been the story with these. Especially it seems like people that use them in 20 gauge get some very poor performance, but I don't know. These are the 12 gauge versions, so maybe we might see some pretty good patterns. It's definitely worth a shot anyway to test it. And as for our setup we've got today, I brought out the Remington 1187 here with this choke. This is the Avian-X Crusher 665 constriction turkey choke, and I figured this one has proven to be a very consistent, kind of reliable choke for us anyway. It's done well with pretty well everything we've put through it, so I figured to start out with, this will be a good starting point if anything else, so we can see what happens and where we would like to go from here anyway. So hopefully it can work out for us today with these Kent shells. But as for our test, everything is going to be the same as usual. I have the turkey target set up at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph, so we'll be able to get our speed and how close it is to that 1100 that they claim on the box. So let's get you guys set up with a view of the target. We'll take our shot, look at our chrono, and then go down and see how they actually performed. I really don't know what to expect on this. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if we saw terrible performance, but I'd be pretty happy if we saw a pretty decent pattern as well. So let's get everything set up and take this shot and see what kind of pattern we can actually get. Okay, so that shell gave us 1141 through our chronograph. The box claims 1100, so we're a little bit above that, but I do have the 28-inch barrel on that shotgun, so that might make a little bit of sense if they tested it through something like a 26-inch barrel. Either way, we definitely saw what they were claiming, and 1141 is not too slow and it's not too fast either. I'd say we're right about where we want to be. So our velocity definitely looks pretty good up here, but how does our pattern actually look down there at 40 yards? Let's go take a look and see. All right, so now we're down here at our 40-yard target, and this is what we got. And I gotta say, this looks really impressive. Now, very obviously, we have a beyond dead turkey right there, no doubt about it. Shot through the brain, all the way down the neck. Absolutely would have crushed that bird with TSS 7s, no doubt about it. Now, our pattern might have favored just a touch to the right, but this pattern, although it's pretty tight, it gives you a little bit of leeway while also being pretty uniform at the same time. It looks really good. I mean, our main section of the pattern is right in there, and there's nowhere within probably 16 inches at least that bird's going to be able to walk to and get away from you. It is honestly really even across the main core area of our pattern right there. Now, looking around the edges, we do see a couple little bits and pieces that you might consider flyers, but overall there, I mean, that's probably, I'd say 85-90% of our actual pellets are on the turkey paper. And if we would have been centered up, say an inch or two to the left a little bit, it might have even been a little bit more than that on the paper. So that is very good looking and very impressive in my opinion. I would not be scared to hunt with that whatsoever. And for some people, that might be even a little bit too tight, because if you had a bird in at 20 or 25 yards, you're definitely looking like baseball, softball size pattern. But overall here, I am very impressed with these shells. Now, if we change chokes, we might be able to clean up a few of those little flyers or strings around the edges a little bit. But either way, when you have 85-90% of your pattern on the turkey paper, that would absolutely crush the turkey, especially with TSS 7s. So at the end of the day here, that's nothing short of a beautiful looking pattern in my opinion. So I'm definitely liking what these Kent TK7 12 gauge shells are able to do for us anyway so far. Okay, and here's the wad from that shell, and as you can see, definitely looks a little different than some other wads out of your typical turkey load. For a 3-inch shell, it almost looks a slight bit longer than usual, and it definitely is different. I mean, it's got these ribs on the outside, but there's nothing stuck down inside, and it opened up pretty evenly there. So definitely a pretty unique looking wad, but clearly I think it did what it was supposed to do for us in this test, that's for sure. Definitely not your typical looking turkey wad anyway, from what we've seen. But if it works, it works. And I think this one did what it was supposed to do, that's for sure. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that pattern right there? Clearly, that is an absolute turkey hammer out at 40 yards. So coming into this, I didn't really know what we were going to see. It could have been really poor. It could have been pretty good. And at the end of the day, I definitely think we're looking pretty good here. There's no doubt about that. So it's looking like we have a pretty good shell here. Now, obviously, I can't speak for the 20 gauge version. I've seen a lot more bad stuff about the 20 gauge version than the 12s. But as for these 12s here today, they did pretty well for me, I'd say. So as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see, or were you a little bit surprised one way or the other? And if you've tested any of these Kent TK7 turkey shells, what has been your results with them? Let me know all that down in the comments, as well as maybe what other setup or choke combo you might want to see these Kent shells tested through. Let me know that as well. But either way, we absolutely have a dead bird here. There's no doubt about it. And I'm really liking that kind of pattern that we got here. So we're definitely off to a good start with these shells, that's for sure. But with that being said, I've got plenty more stuff coming y'all's way, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested. But I'm going to get back to filming, so I'll see y'all in the next one.